So now let's begin. Last time I think we had a session on my favorite Prime Minister,
So
and
should I start first because there is a meeting like our school work. So can may I
yeah,
start?
just 1 minute. We
Okay,
will
sir.
quickly review some important points from the last session. I remember one important thing I told you is that whenever you are discussing your most favorite, you must also compare a little bit with the choice made by others or all our possible alternatives to what you have chosen. For example, if your favorite prime minister is say Atal Bihari Vajpayee, then you must also talk a little bit about uh, Nehru or Modi, etc. So some comparison should also be there. Now let's begin with today's topic. That is the impact of new education policy on school and college structures. So Kushi wants to begin first. Go ahead, Kushi. Yes, Kushi, you wanted to begin? Gaurav, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay, Gaurav, can you begin while Kushi is uh, reworking her connection? Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, can I start, sir?
Yeah, most welcome.
Sir, am I visible?
Yes.
Good evening, sir, and my dear friend. Today's topic is, sir, national education policy. Sir, the National Education Policy of India 2020 was approved by the Union Cabinet of India on 29 July 2020. Outlines the vision of the new educations of India. The new education policy replaces the previous education policy of 1986. This education policy is a framework of the elementary education to the higher education, as well as the vocabulary training of both in rural and urban areas. And this policy aims to transform India's education system by 2040. And sir, the new education policy 2020 replaces the national education policy of 1986. In 2015, a committee under the cabinet secretary T.S. Subramaniam starting the process of new education policy. So we get the idea of the new education policy in the year of 2015, and now the 2000 now the new education policy annexed numerous changes in the India's education policy. It aims to increase the state expenditure on education from around 3 GDP to 6% of the GDP as soon as the possible. And the new education policy has emphasized on the use of the mother tongue or the local languages till the class 5, and which continues to the class 8th. And also the new education policy also focuses on the Sanskrit language and the many foreign languages also. And now there are many points which are covered under the new education policy which are to be developed, like a new education policy focus on the foundation literature and numeracy. And the next one is say that the 10 plus 2 structure is replaced with that 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model. And so and sir, instead of exams being held every academic year, school students will allow to attend 3 exams in class 2nd, 5th and 8th. Also sir, new education policy aims on the increasing the education level, the intelligence of the students and the children, so that they enhance their knowledge, not that they not focuses on the good marks or the higher result, but focuses on the intelligence or the education of the students and children. And moreover, the education policy also impacts the higher education, like it has a major impact on the higher education. And sir, now sir, at the end I would like to say that I would like to say that the new education policy plays a major role in the education system and brings a major change in the education, so that the education system of India will develop, sir. As we can see that since 1947, the technology, the basic example is mobile phones, are become advanced day by day, but the education system is still the same. So this is a step to increase the new education policy. Thank you.
Namaste. Good, Gaurav. Excellent. You covered lots of points, and best part is that you have done some diligent preparation for your speech. But it's a vast topic. Some of the points have been left out, especially content of the syllabi or curriculum. I hope others will cover. So let's see who will speak now.
So may I start, Khushi?
Yes, Khushi, please do.
Yeah. As in 2000, Namaskar everyone, my name is Khushi and today I will speak on this topic. As in year 2021, there was a news and it declared that there's new national education policy has been updated to India, and this education policy have new changes in itself. Like in the previous year, there was only 3 years education course, but now there are 4 years education course. We have to just do it, and before the people who have taken science, they can't take commerce or arts, and the people who have taken commerce, they can't just take arts and science. The people who have taken the art, they can't even take science or commerce, but now they are allowed and free to choose. Like if they have taken science or art, they can choose, they can change their stream. And there are many more changes, like in the school, they it's more like practical things are divided into other parts. As the student have to, if they're in the book, it's written as if in the book, it's in the practical part, it's written a field of weed, then the teachers have to just make their students go to the field and show that how the wheat has grown, and what are the seed and the soil that provide to the seed to grow. And they are and used to show the proper sample and practical that are the student need. And India national language is Hindi, and the mother tongue and the main mother tongue is Sanskrit, that has made all languages. So it's like it's compulsory to every person to learn Hindi as a compulsory language, more like English. And as our India government has also changed, like if the students are studying in government schools, so they can just get a free education also for their benefits. And there are many more things that our new education policy have seen after a 300 years. Thank you.
Good, Khushi. Well done. Where is Bhavya these days? I hope he's keeping well. You were
Yes,
absent
sir.
last time.
Yes, sir. We went to for a, some first function, so we were not able to join.
No, today also Bhavya is not there.
Sir, Bhavya is there.
Okay, good, very good.
Uh,
I'll just
Namaskar, sir.
Sir, can Bhavya
Namaste,
start?
Bhavya. Khushi, I'd just
Namaskar,
like to
sir.
point out that Sanskrit is not our mother tongue. It's our one of the oldest classical languages, which has a very rich literature, and from
Yes.
which many other North Indian languages have emerged. But
Yes,
it is
sir.
not our mother tongue. Okay. So now,
Sir,
who would like to?
start now?
Yeah, Bhavya, please go ahead. Yes, Bhavya, go ahead.
Namaskar, sir, and my dear friends. I am Bhavya. Today, I want to speak on this topic. There are many changes in this time in the new in the education. Our new government has made it new changes. There were many new policies, but the latest policy is made in 2021. It's a policy in which we can the children get a right to do more things like the the graduation is of 3 years, but we have given it 4 years. The board of 10th will be not happening, it will be happening in 11th. And children who child who has taken science, he can take art and commerce too, and a child who has taken art, he can take commerce. So there are many rights given to the children, and I think that this new education policy we our children need to take. And because this new education policy have helped children very much, so I think that this education policy is very nice, but for some children it is very from some children's side it can be not better as much from my side, because some children will be facing some negative issues of this also. So my personal opinion is that this policy is the best, and I think that we should not make we should not do we should not take out models in mobiles and other any other technology. I want we have to make differences in our education system and make our children and students more educated. Thank you.
Very good, Bhavya. Just one point, you said that this education policy has some negative points for some students, but you did not elaborate. What did you mean by negative points?
Sir, I don't have negative points, so I don't have negative points, so I can't elaborate. But for some, it can be negative impacts of that.
For example, you could say among negative points that it is bringing too much flexibility, and this will increase the burden on teachers.
Yes.
Each student can choose their own combination of courses. So
Yes.
disrupt, you understand? DISRUPT. Disrupt means बिगाड़ देना. इसमें disrupt the class
Sir, can you
pattern.
repeat the word? Sir, can you repeat the word?
Sorry, DISRUPT, disrupt.
DIS
RUPT.
RUTE
RUTT.
RUDT.
No, P for Patna. Okay, now who will speak next? Praveen, would you like to speak?
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes. Can you switch on your video?
Just a minute.
And you are joining first time. Please introduce yourself.
Hi Devesh Ji. Good evening. I am Wing Commander Praveen Bishnoi, and
Oh,
I was
acha,
referred
okay.
by
Welcome.
I was referred by
Welcome.
Rita Chachi to just continue
Acha.
listening to what all good
Yeah,
job you are doing and whatever you are teaching to these children. So I just joined
Acha.
for having an overview of it. I'm sorry I'm not appropriately dressed because I was just in my
No,
bedroom.
no,
That's why I
no.
have video off.
Be comfortable, and it's all a very family-like, homely meeting. We all have for 1 hour.
Yeah, I
So,
got some introduction from Rita Chachi. Joined in to
yeah.
watch over whatever you're doing. That's all. Thank you very much. I'll just be a mute spectator today.
Okay, okay. But you are welcome to say anything if you want later on.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Let me hear. The topic is. She introduced to me that you are talking about education policy. I think something on that, and the
and
next
its
talk tomorrow
impact
also is based on that.
its impact on schools and colleges.
Impact on school and colleges. Well, fine. I'll just listen to it and give my points if I have any relevant one. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. So who will speak next? Gagan, would you like to start? Okay, Gagan is perhaps not there at the moment. Lovely,
Yes.
Vaibhav? Yes, Lovely, go ahead.
Sir Vaibhav wants to speak first.
Okay, Vaibhav, welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Vaibhav.
Firstly, about today's topic, I would say this namaskar to my sir and my dear friends. About today's topic, the change in education policy in 2020 and 2022 is that, as we all know, that in 2020 there was COVID-19, so our education was very light studying education, and now when vaccine has made it by doctors, and other countries are sending vaccine. Yeah, so now in 2022, I am hoping that all the countries and all Indian states are opening their schools, and my school also open, and I am going to the school, and I am dreaming that these COVID cases not come very more, that in emergency our school have to close our school, and I am thoughting that COVID has spread all the education from its mouth the drain, and it's I was feeling very bad when COVID come and our education system changed. And about today's topic, I would tell this much only, and lastly I would say.
Okay. Good, Vaibhav. You mixed up the topic a little bit. You spoke a little more on COVID problem and challenges. But it's okay. You are very young. Maybe you still don't know the details of the new education policy. I hope you looked up Google. Did you try to check up what is new education policy of 2020?
I see them on my cell phone.
Okay. Always try and check up on Google. You will easily find lots of points and you can make a short speech out of that. But you spoke without looking into your written text. That is good. Keep it up. Okay, lovely. Now you can go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Please keep the mic closer to you. I think the voice is not coming well from your mic.
Sir, is it coming?
It's better now.
And am I visible also?
Yes.
The new education system 2020 was approved by the Union Cabinet of India on July 29, 2020. The new education system is now approved as 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Schooling structure will be comprised 12 years of school as 3 years of primary school, and the mother tongue will be medium for grade 5. NEP 2020 will be open new learning opportunities to students. Its biggest impact would be the change in the learning environment and learning process for the students. The NEP will increase the focus on the skill and improvement of the students, and its main focus would be on the learning of the students, and its focus on activity learning. It will cover 3 to 8 years old child, and in the education the major role is of the teacher. In the 1986 education policy, most of the teachers were not given proper training. They were not properly trained, so they had faced some of the problems. And now in both school and colleges, the teachers are given proper training, and they are properly trained, so they are very smoothly taking their classes with the students, and they can connect with them. Properly. And in 1986 policy, the main era was getting good marks and just completing the syllabus. It was like teachers used to just complete the syllabus, and the main focus was on to get good marks. But now both school and colleges, the main focus is on the learning of the child and the improvement. Now in the current policy, the teachers, the focus of the teachers is on the improvement of the children, and whatever they learn, they learn with the very curriculum activities. The teachers have made it more easier for the students to learn with the activities, with the smart boards, as technology also helps teachers to connect with the students. And in the earlier policy, it was that our marks used to decide that which stream we have to take. But in today's policy, which is in current policy, we can choose our comfortable stream which we prefer to study. And there is no pressure on students that if you get good marks, then only you will have to choose science. Now if they are comfortable in taking if they're comfortable and they are
even without very good marks, yes.
Yeah, if they're comfortable in taking the subject, the stream, they are free to choose that. There is nothing like that. Their marks will decide. Like in the earlier policy, it used to be like 80 plus or 90 plus. Those students will only get science, and the rest, the students who get bad marks,
they'll have to take art. This was compulsory, but now this is not, so students can choose their comfortable stream which they prefer. And the new education policy has given many rights to students, which has helped them a lot. So I think there are many improvements which colleges and schools have faced with the new education policy. Thank you. Yeah, ma'am.
Good. No,
Sir, can I speak now?
yes, Gagan. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, sir. Previous, sir. At that time, sir, I am in the question, sir.
I was in.
Sir, I was in, sir. Sir, I am audible and visible also, both. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Today I am here.
Now you are visible.
Sir, okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. Today I am here to present my views on the today's topic, and the today's topic is the new education policy and its benefits for the schools and college children.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, Bhai can turn off his video because of the poor network, so his video may lag and voice also. So it may be easy.
No, right now it's okay. If there is any problem, Gagan, you could then switch off video. But right now you are coming okay. Yes.
Okay, sir. Then I'm, sir, opening my video and audible. So, sir, the new education policy, which was approved by the Union Cabinet of India on 29 July 2020, which outlines the vision of the new education system of India. The new education policy replaces the previous national education policy of 1986. The policy is a comprehensive framework for the elementary education to the higher education, as well as the vocational training in both the urban and the rural India. Shortly after the release of the policy, the government clarified that no one will be forced to study any particular language, and that the medium of instruction will be shifted from English to any regional language. The language policy of new education policy, that is the NEP 2020, is a broad guideline and advisory in nature, and it is up to the states, institutions and the schools to decide its implementations. New education policy aims to the state expenditure and the education from around 3% to 6% of the GDP. For the language, the new education policy forms new rules like that. The new education policy 2020 has emphasized on the use of the mother language, mother tongue or local language as a medium of instructions till class 5, while recommending its constituents till class 8, and beyond that the Sanskrit language will be preferred. The policy recommends that all the students will learn 3 languages in their schools under the formula at least 2 of the 3 languages should be native to India. So sorry, my connection errors.
Okay,
sir, now I am visible, sir.
You can
no, sir. I'm. Sir, I want to speak from opening my video, sir.
Okay.
Can I speak, sir, like this? Okay. Okay, sir. So, new education policy plays a very important role. Forms new rules for the school students as well as the college students. Firstly, I would like to tell this things done for the school education. The new education policy focuses on the foundational literacy and numeracy. The policy accords that the highest priority to achieving foundational literacy and numeracy by all the students by grade 3. The 10 plus 2 structure will be replaced with the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model. And in that there are 4 stages for the school. The first one is foundation, second one is preparatory, third one is middle, and fourth one is secondary. In the foundation stage, the new education policy will cover 3 years of the preschool, followed by the classes 1 and 2 in primary schools. This will cover the children of ages 3 to 8 years. Now, sir, second one is preparatory stage. In preparatory stage, classes 3 to 5 will cover, and 8 to 11 years will come under this, and it will gradually introduce subjects like the reading, speaking, writing, physical education, language, art, science, mathematics, etc. Sir. So in middle, now in next stage, the middle stage, it covers the 11 to 14 years of age to the classes 6 to 8. It introduced the more concepts of all the subjects that were mentioned in the preparatory stage. And the sir, and according to me, the most important is for sir secondary stage, which is for the senior classes, which were 9 to 12 classes, covers 14 to 19 years of age. In this study, it is intended to include multidisciplinary study coupled with depth and critical thinkings. And sir, exams being held every year, academic year, school students will only attend 3 exams in the classes 2, 5th, and 8th. And for the board exams, the 10th and 12th classes will appear for the board examinations as followed by the previous education policy. And not even, sir, for the school, the new education policy plays a very important, also plays a great role in the higher education. And sir, in higher education, it proposes 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor's degree in an undergraduate program with multi-exist option. For the first year students, it provides a certificate for its study. For the second year, it's provided diploma. For the third year, it provides a bachelor degree for the completion of 3 years program. And sir, for the fourth year, a multidisciplinary bachelor's degree was given to all the college students after the enactment of new education policy 2020. But sir, the fourth degree is an optional degree. It is upon the students that he or she want to take it or not, sir. And sir, National Higher Education Regulatory Council, which is called as NHERC, regulates the higher education system and plays a very important role for the teachers' education. And sir, Higher Education Commission of India, which was HECI, its goals is to increase the gross enrollment ratio all over India. This policy for higher education proposes that the higher education institutes like the IITs and the colleges, universities for which were famous for the medical, make changes with the regard of diversity of learning. And the policy is proposes to internationalize education in India. And after the enactment of the new education policy 2020, the foreign universities can now set up the campuses in India, which is very helpful for the Indian students to learn the foreign language, also to learn about their culture, etc. And the fees of both the private and public universities will be fixed, which will very helpful for the middle class family also. It was a very good initiative made by our Indian government, which was the new education policy, and it helps the student and it will help every
Gagan,
student.
you are
Thank you, sir.
exceeding your time. You can conclude fast.
Sir, I have said that. So at last, I want to say the new education policy is a very great initiative taken by the Indian government, which helps the every student to get to get success in his or her life.
Okay, Gagan, very good. You got in most of the points. Only some critical evaluation was lacking. On your language, I would like to just point out, you used the term children's. Okay, you know
Okay,
what is
sir.
the mistake there,
Sir.
and you mispronounced multidisciplinary. Okay, that correct
Okay,
correct
sir. Yes,
pronunciation is
sir.
multidisciplinary. Say it
Okay, sir.
from your side. How will you pronounce?
Sir, multidisciplinary.
Yes, lovely.
Yes, sir.
Yes, lovely. You spoke very well. Uh, you were, I think, also missing out on critical evaluation. Both plus and minus should be given. If some, not all the time minus is there, but if it is there, that should also be pointed out. But you spoke very well.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Now, Rita, let's hear Rita. She's been teaching for, I think, 20 years now. Rita, would you like to say something?
Devesh, after a little bit, some time, I'll take over.
Okay, okay. So, Praveen, would you like to say something? How was your experience in
Am I
school?
audible?
Yes,
Am I
yes,
audible?
you are audible.
Okay, I'll just speak. I'll not put the video on if you don't mind. I heard it and I got some people are trying to put their views on that particular thing, their understanding and developing critical thinking. Probably that's the name here. That
Yeah,
they develop
yeah.
a
And
subject knowledge. They develop a subject knowledge and some communication skills along with analytical ability. They can analyze and summarize a few things that they want, right?
Yeah, communication skill
Okay.
and fluency in spoken English is priority
Okay.
concern.
Okay, fine. So I'll be a little deliberate and slow in that case. I assume that the audience here is from all ages. Probably very young people are also participating in this meeting. My hello to all. And as I introduced myself, my name is Praveen. I am serving in the Indian Air Force. And a little bit about this National Education Policy 2020. All of us, since it impacts all of us, we all have studied. I have also just heard a few earlier presentations wherein core ideas behind this policy were discussed by a few people. I'll just bring out a few points which I remember. And in the meantime, as you were discussing, I actually opened the National Education Policy itself, which is a 66-page document. In case the children here are interested, they can go to education.gov.in, the website of Government of India itself, Ministry of Human Resource Development. 66-page National Education Policy is available there. So that is for the theoretical knowledge of what the policy in itself is about. If you just read the introduction of that, you'll come to know with what thought procedure the education policy is designed, with what aim. So whatever, I will not speak much on that because that is already available to you and you can just read it and make your own understanding out of it, that what we or the government want to do over period to come and how the structure will be changed. The existing structure is not giving you a number of options which will be opened more in this. The bottom line of it, what I will bring out is the pursuit of knowledge, the pursuit of wisdom, the pursuit of truth, a pursuit of way of lifestyle, whatever we had adopted earlier than the Macaulay designed education policy which we are following. So probably that Indian thought and philosophy as the highest human goal of achieving Gyan, Pragya and Satya, that's what the documents also state, is what the people are looking at. Number of options, number of ways will go. There will be teething problems. Definitely teachers will be really tasked. The infrastructure is not adequate. I don't know if it is, if the government is working. They are saying they are working towards it. We are not into that field. I can't comment so professionally on it, but definitely the points of, worry in everybody's mind are that one, they need to upgrade the salaries maybe or the lifestyle in general of the teachers if they want teaching as a profession to become a little more lucrative so that people from all walks of life actually are able to join and good people are there available as teachers, not only certain, dropouts, which has been happening in a lot of systems earlier as they had hired the temporary teachers. During that time, the teachers were not very well qualified. Probably after this Anganwadi scheme and other lot of schemes are there. So accordingly, they are going to train them. So one is this aspect, which I think is a weakness, which definitely the system, the people in the system must be looking at. The other part is the a lot of advantages which are available in this is one, giving access of education right till the last man of the society, recognizing and identifying them, fostering the unique abilities of each student. These are the kind of ideas, providing a lot of flexibility to them, the critical thinking and the creativity abilities which will be developed under this kind of an policy. So it is a long drawn game. All our children, definitely we are in that age wherein this education policy is going to impact my children. One of them is studying in 7, the other one in 3rd, one has just joined a primary education. So we all will be impacted. We all need to be genned up. I'll not take much time. But my big submission as a general summary to this is the policy is already there. It is going to stay. We all need to now upgrade ourselves to that level that we know what the policy proposes. What is it that we can best bring out from it, learn and adopt it in a manner so that the best of it can be given to our children. That's from my side. Thanks.
Thank you, Praveen. I was just curious to know, since you are from the armed forces, don't you think that in India, NCC and maybe some martial arts, military training should be made mandatory, except for those people who have some medical ground in all colleges? I'm saying this especially because we have often witnessed to very tragic instances where a whole crowd is watching and a single gunda harasses or bullies people.
I got your point. See, the idea which I got
Our
this point has been
reflexes
discussed.
are very poor. So as a culture, actually, we are slightly timid, and education can rectify this if we make martial arts or some military training like in Israel, etc., compulsory.
Well taken point, but this point has been discussed at length in various forums to which I have been an attendee. The idea is to teach self-defense and martial art in that form is okay, but to do anything with the law-keeping aspects, people have their own, it will be another form of moral policing. Or whatever I may say, not even a moral policing. It will be some different form of, people trying to show off their power. Should not be a good idea. But yes, a disciplined training, either through the NCC, as you said, or any other forum. Maybe in the school itself, if some kind of, physical education of that nature, along with those moral science which we used to teach earlier, along with the real life rules, as we say, the civil law is taught a bit that, okay, this kind of a provision exists. These are the sources of information. In case you think that something is going on wrong, this is the level where you should intervene. This is the level where you should go to and report. These are the numbers on which you should complain. Stop the person from doing the wrong at a time without being empowered by the government to do that may cause a harm to the children. So for young people, definitely knowing and standing together, knowing the right thing, at least to make the call correctly and inform the agencies at the right time, at least that kind of information should be given. And as you said, that as a generation, people have become timid. This is a long drawn procedure of thousands of years, for a few hundreds of years, if not thousand, I must say. The kind of, we have always been on the receiving end, right from the, and the various people, those who have come to this country, we have never had imperialist intentions, but we were at the receiving end. So
I
over
was
a period
curious,
of time,
why do you say there are fears of moral policing? There's nothing to do with moral training or moral instruction, just NCC, of course, and martial arts. But 1 year stint with the army, like in countries in Israel, etc., could be made mandatory, except for people having medical reasons.
Proposal is definitely there on the table. People have been discussing this point. I am sure it may
What is
be
holding it back? I was asking what is holding it back.
The army is not designed to do these kind of things for that larger scale. We are not designed to do that. So they will have to think. I mean, some setup has to come. It may be a 5-year, 4-year, long drawn plan, procedure, implementation, infrastructure, and maybe a core like education core in army is a very small core. They will not come and go and do this. Probably they can do it as a vocational.
Army is in fact short of officers and
Correct. But vocational
it
training to
would-
people may be given, but not as a full-fledged, program under the Armed Forces banner. It may definitely come under the Ministry of Education.
that is some structure
Yeah,
will have to
definitely.
be
That kind of a
created.
thing. Yes, I got your point. To bring the patriotism, bring the correct understanding of a citizen, and have the development of willpower, as well as
And to
take
respond
courage, development of courage.
in a national disaster, to respond in civil war
The
situation.
sense of patriotism, the sense of courage, the sense of the ability of leadership in that kind of a situation definitely must be introduced, and that would be a good forum, either through NCC, as you said, or any other kind of vocational programs may be started.
Yeah, some other structure. It's
Vocational
very
programs
unfortunate
of a month each, maybe. Yeah.
that this has not been attended to in new education policy also, although some mention has been made of NCC being promoted with more fund, etc. But unless, I shouldn't comment too much. Rita, you would like to say? Thank you, Praveen. Thanks a lot. You brought in very important points, and this will really
welcome, and
enlighten.
thanks for Mali on giving me the opportunity to just hear you all. I am actually trying to just grasp whatever is going on. I'm not prepared. Actually, I have not studied it recently, so
I know
I'm not genned up to speak a lot of things. But yeah,
that's
definitely
why it was
now I'll
very
know some topics, and I'll definitely myself read before coming.
No, it was very impressive. You spontaneously spoke so well, and it was very illuminating.
Thank you, Devesh.
Rita, would you like to say something?
Devesh, not much today, but only thing that bothers me that we as teachers will be more burdened and we have to be more upgraded. Yeah, that bothers me rather.
I also mentioned that this policy seems to be adding to the burden of the teacher, and maybe the solution would be that classes should be smaller. And hopefully it is saying that 6% of GDP or our national income will be spent on education. So they will appoint more teachers with time. Now, in general, students, I would like to suggest that, see, I chose this topic particularly to train you in speaking on something which has a plethora of points. You understand plethora? Plethora. Plethora means many, too many. And so there are too many points in this. Now, how do you structure such a speech in a very short span? This is very important. And here I will again remind you, I think I discussed this once earlier also. You must have both an introduction and a conclusion. In the introduction, you very briefly mention or you describe the term. Sometimes a definition is required, sometimes a short description is required. For example, what is New Education Policy 2020? It is a revolutionary step restructuring the education at various levels in both curriculum, training of teachers, in multifaceted way. This becomes a short description. Then you give the context. Context means in what circumstance it has come up. Okay, this should also be a part of your introduction. So you say there have been many ailments in our education system, and for a long time there was a big cry for radical reforms. And in this context, this policy has been framed after a lot of consultation. So now we'll see to what extent it actually does succeed in addressing these challenges. Then you describe that the main chunk of your speech comes. Here also, your point should be structured in a hierarchy of less and more important points. You must begin with the most important thing that strikes about what you are speaking. So speaking about NEP or National Education Policy, the most striking thing is, to my mind, you can of course pick up another angle, to my mind, that it gives a lot of flexibility and choice to the students. This is a big change that this policy has brought up. You could say something else like it has changed curriculum in a radical way and so on, whatever you like the most. And then go on to other points which should be structured. For example, it should not be a hodgepodge or potpourri. Potpourri, you understand? Potpourri. Potpourri means random mix. मतलब ऐसे ही बगैर किसी अरेंजमेंट के जब हम किसी चीज को मिक्स कर लेते हैं उसको हम पॉटपूरी कह सकते हैं या हॉच पॉच कह सकते हैं. Your point should not be a hodgepodge. They should be structured. For example, you can classify your points into those relating to curriculum, evaluation procedures, teachers' appointments and training, finance and infrastructure, and lastly, in conclusion, you shall always end by making a critical assessment. Briefly mention the best points and the lacks or negative points also in your conclusion. Okay? And of course, always start with the greeting. Namaste is a good greeting, better than good evening. And also end with a salutation. You can say, thank you for listening, something like that. Okay, so more than the topic itself, I have again second time given you the suggestions regarding structuring your speech, how to proceed, how to arrange your points. That is something very important. I hope you have understood. If there is any confusion or doubt or question, you are welcome to raise. Gaurav, did you understand what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Lovely.
Yes, sir.
अब याद रहेगा ना आपको कैसे अरेंज करना है. इंट्रोडक्शन बनाना है, लास्ट में कंक्लूजन बनाना है, और जो आपका मिडिल चंक है मेन पॉइंट्स को उनको भी क्लासिफाई करके रखना है, रैंडमली नहीं प्रेजेंट करना है.
Yes.
और इंट्रोडक्शन कैसे बनाना है? Yes, Praveen.
If I made thumb rule for a good, like you were telling them to arrange a thought, the entire talk, whatever is to be arranged in the manner Devesh has brought out very nicely. For a thumb rule, especially for the youngsters, those who are listening and are in a very young stage of learning, the thumb rule or the ABC of communication is ABC in itself: accuracy, brevity, and clarity. If you focus on being accurate, brief, and clear, so that this is the must-know part of a particular talk. The information is accurate, the source is correct. It is briefly represented in a very clear and concise manner. That's how it will be impressive. People will remember it. The critical aspects are only the things which will go back with the man. Nobody is going to learn the entire chapter and go back. It's the pinpoints, the highlighted points, the clearly brought out agendas that will be that should be there. I think that ABC may be remembered as ABC: accuracy, brevity, and clarity. Thank you.
Very, very useful way to remember ABC: accuracy, brevity, and clarity. Very useful. And I may add there, you shall always try to add a little bit of humor or some emotion in your speech. That will enrich it, that will make it memorable and very engaging. That will make it engaging. Engaging means जिसको लोग attention से सुनते हैं, उसे क्या बोलते हैं? Engaging. कैसे engaging बनाना है? और this is like the the chalk in your dish. उसको थोड़ा colorful, थोड़ा सा tasty बनाने के लिए हम just a little bit, a small touch of humor or emotional appeal should be tried. जैसे इसमें अब ह्यूमर का तो स्कोप कम था, but आप कह सकते हैं, if I were to speak, I will start by saying what ails our education is best represented by that picture from Bihar some years back, in which parents were hanging from windows of an examination center in order to push slips for mass organized cheating. And then there was a topper from Patna who did not even know what paper she has taken. So this is the deep mess. Or there was this Vyapan scam in Madhya Pradesh where medical admissions were done through bribes, and when the proceedings against the culprits began, many people actually committed suicide because they had spent crores to get fake admissions. And on top of this, our country is such in which we can laugh at actually a very tragic scenario represented in a film like Munna Bhai. What is it? Munna Bhai
MBBS.
Yeah. Where fake admissions, fake doctors had become a reality around us. So something like this, something which is jolting, something which shocks your audience into sharp attention. Okay, such a technique should also be used in a speech. Okay, so we come to the end of today's session, and unless someone wants to add something, we bid goodbye, and we'll meet tomorrow now, same time, 8 p.m. and you will get the topic in the morning itself. Please come prepared.
Devesh, Praveen can also volunteer for teaching once in a while.
Oh, that will be great. Praveen, would you like to teach just once a week?
Definitely, Deveshji, I would love to, but we'll speak personally on this. Maybe
Okay.
as and when
Whenever.
time permits. Definitely.
Whenever,
I'll come upon with something that I may be of value. I'll definitely.
That will be really great. We'll value your contribution a lot, and you have already come out as a very inspiring teacher. So I think you should use this art which God has bestowed upon you, and students will also benefit.
Definitely, Deveshji. Thank you. We'll speak on this personally.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you.